this video, we are going to take a look at all the features of the Tapo app for my new Tapo C420 camera. As you can see, I've been using the Tapo app for quite a while and I've got quite a lot of cameras over here. This Tapo C420 needs to work with the Tapo hub. This hub, right, comes with my Tapo doorbell. So what I've done is I just bought the additional Tapo C420 camera and add it and connect it to the hub. I've made another video on how to set this Tapo C420 up. Now, the functions and features of the Tapo C420 is pretty similar with the Tapo C425. So all the features that I'm stepping through will more or less be the same with the Tapo C425. So on the front page of the camera, as you can see, my camera is looking at the backyard. We can take a snapshot of what the camera is looking at. We can also take a video, start recording a video. And for the video recorded and the snapshot, they will both be straight away stored into my phone over here. Unlike the SD card, it's in this playback and download. And the other two buttons, this is the microphone. We can turn on and off the camera microphone and call. Basically, our voice will go through the phone to the camera speakers. And with this talk is like a walkie-talkie where we can hold to talk and let go. So our voice will no longer be transmitted across. And there is turning on the alarm. So once the camera detects any motion, it will trigger the alarm to go off at the camera. And privacy mode is turning off the camera using the software. And there is a light on the camera itself. So I'm going to switch on the light now. See that? The light is on, so the footage will be recorded better. I'm going to turn off the light now. Now the light is off. All the interesting features of the app is in these settings. So let's take a look. Over here, it's motion detection. We can set the wake up sensitivity. Because this camera comes with an infrared sensor, we can set the detection range to be far away or somewhere in the middle so that it doesn't get woken up too often and wasting the battery. And then we have detection zone. And realize we can set the detection zone for each of them. Imagine we want person detection. We can set the sensitivity as well for individual detection. So for the person detection, I might want the sensitivity to be a lot higher. And over here, we can also set up the activity zone for the person detection. So I can move it like so and basically capture any person movement around this area and then click on save. And that's it for the person detection. And imagine pet detection. I can turn it on. And for pet detection, I want to reduce the sensitivity because I don't want to get so many notifications of my pet walking around. And once again, we can set the activity zone to be maybe just right at this corner. And then we can click save. And that's it for pet detection. This is pretty good, which we can set like different types of detection zone for different types of motion detection that we want. So moving on, this is basically the alarm that will get triggered on the camera, and the camera will have a sound, a siren sound, or we can pick the various different types of sound and we can set the volume as well. And we can select sound or just light or both sound and light to be flashing. And then we can also choose Do we want the alarm to get triggered during the day, during the night, or a custom schedule? So now this is all day round, but I normally have the alarm turned off because I don't want to disturb my neighbors. Now, this trigger hub alarm is to trigger the alarm on the hub itself, not on the camera. So the alarm will sound from the hub rather than the sound coming from the camera itself. Next, we have battery status. There are quite a lot of settings for the battery status. So we can show the battery status on the footage itself. So when enabled, the battery status will be shown on the live view. Similarly for the battery percentage. And for this working mode, we can set it to have the right mode to save battery, or we may want high performance because we want the camera to record more motion detection or record more footage so that we don't miss any footage that we like to record. And then there is solar charging data. So with this one, we can buy a TP-Link Tapo solar panel and connect it to the camera so that we can charge the camera 24/7 to allow us to record a lot more footage. I don't have the solar charging panel, so I'm going to keep it off. Then auto private mode. So for this one, every time we take down the camera to remove the battery for charging, it will automatically turn on the privacy mode. And this is a graph showing the battery level, how much we have used over the last 7 days. I've been playing around with the camera over the last few days. That's why the usage is pretty high. So in terms of the graphs, there are so many different types of graph that we can see in terms of the battery status. Even like wake up times as well, the event, number of event triggered, and number of event that has been filtered by AI. So that's battery status. So Tapo Cloud, this one is for us to sign up the Tapo Cloud so that we can store the footage into their cloud. For security reason, I don't feel safe, so I normally don't subscribe to the Tapo Cloud. So storage and recording. This is about the SD card, the local recording. With this one, my camera, I usually record them and store them in my SD card rather than storing them into the cloud, the Tapo Cloud. So I've got a 64 gig SD card, and this SD card is inside the hub, which is shared between my doorbell and this camera. As you can see, this device is recording not so much because this is my new camera, and the other device would be my doorbell, which has recorded quite a lot. And we can set it to loop record, meaning the oldest footage will get written off when new one comes in or when the card run out of space. So we can set the clips settings as well. So re-trigger time, when the camera have detected motion, how long do we want it to re-trigger and see if there is another motion to be detected. Recording buffer, so when the motion is no longer detected, meaning nothing is moving already, how long should the camera keep recording? And this basically helps us set the maximum clip length. Recording schedule, we can schedule when the camera should start recording and when we would like to turn it off. So if we click on the edit button, we can basically say turn off during this time on Thursday, whatever that time is, between 10 to 2 p.m. Or we can have it on all the time. And this is basically saying, do we want to record sound as the video get recorded? So that's storage and recording. And with video and display, we can tune the quality of the video, the frame rate, and the color mode as well. whether do we want to record black and white or color mode in the nighttime, or smart mode basically knows how to switch between black and white and color in the nighttime. That's basically to save battery. And then we can invert the image if the camera is mounted upside down. Privacy zone, this is different from the activity zone. Private zone means, for example, we don't want the camera to record over here. You will see this part will become black during the for the recording footage. There we go. That part have become black. So that's basically like for the privacy of my neighbors. Image settings. Do we want to record original settings or cool color, warm color, or vibrant color? We can also set the image brightness in image settings. So on-screen display info. So it's basically saying the date timestamp looks like this. I don't think we can change it. And then display text. We can set a text to display on the footage together with any footage that we have recorded. So no, I don't want to display the camera model. And display logo, this is basically the TP-Link logo recorded on the footage. Now, display tag on screen. To be honest, I'm not sure what this is, but it seems like we can display a live tag on the screen and the router speed or the connection speed of the camera. I'm not sure how useful this is. If you know what this is, leave a comment down below. And that's it for video and display. Spotlight brightness. So basically, this is when the light switch on, how bright we want the light to be, as well as we can set it to automatically turn on if it needs the light, or set it to manually turn on. Status LED. So this is the small tiny LED light that is on the camera. I've got it turned off so that the camera doesn't have a light on and it's not so obvious. And remember, the Tapo C420 camera needs to connect to a hub in order to work. It's basically showing us which hub it's connected to, as well as the connection strength. Privacy mode. So this is basically to turn on and off privacy mode, which we can do on the outside as well. Notifications. So this is how we want the camera to be sending us notification. So we can say, send me push notification to my phone whenever the camera detected something, or reach notification. The camera will only send a notification when they see a person or an object. On the activity type, we can choose what type of detection will trigger a notification. So remember, we are in the notification settings. Choosing the activity type is basically saying only the pet and person detection. We want the pet and person detection to send us a notification. And the schedule, this is saying which time of the day do we want the camera to send us notifications. I've basically got it on always on. So advanced settings, to be honest, I don't know what this power line frequency is. I'm leaving it as the default 60 Hz. If you know what this is, please leave a comment. Voice call mode. So this is when we click on the call button. Do we want it to be standard mode or compatibility mode? Display settings. This is whether do we want to leverage the hardware accelerations to improve the performance of the camera footage. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what's the difference between these two settings. So sharing a device, we can share this with another email address or with someone else who have a Tapo account. So both my account and that person account can see the same camera and manage the same camera. User guide. So this is quite handy. We can click in here and see the user manual if we want to. Mounting guide. This basically teaches us how to mount the camera. And welcome guide is like a welcome guide telling us what the feature of this camera is and so on. And then firmware update. So this is to update the firmware. If there is any firmware, we can use this menu to update the camera's firmware. And remove camera will be to remove this camera from our account. And that's it. So basically, these are all the features that we get for the Tapo C420 camera. Watch this video appearing on the left to see how I install and set up my Tapo C420 camera. And this video on the right, it basically shows how to mount this camera on my roof ceiling. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you over in those two videos.